A lot of the rationale for war and the rationale for occupation that the British and US governments have developed post-aggression, after their occupation, rests on how Iraq and the Iraqi people are perceived. And I think this is absolutely essential. We should make part of our campaign, part of our fight against the occupation, a clear understanding that the cause of the mayhem, the cause of the suffering of the people of Iraq is not inherent in Iraq and in the Iraqi people and the makeup of the Iraqi people and their inability to live amongst each other, as we are told by batteries of journalists, academics, politicians, propagandists of all kinds, coming all the time and telling us that this is the reality. Look at what's happening day in, day out, and who is causing all the mayhem there, and that the occupation forces there are keeping the peace in a way, bringing civilization to a country of this. I think this is crucial for reaching the public here. We have to undermine the legitimacy of the occupation and of the aggression and so on. Part of it is, of course, the occupation and the US and British governments do, to some extent, admit and accept in an indirect way. Although they don't admit, they implicitly accept in an indirect way that oil is crucial and oil is important for this. But they put it in the way that oil is a legitimate concern for the people of Iraq, legitimate concern for the international community. It is part of it lubricates the world economy. The issue here as well for us is to make it absolutely clear, we are not talking about oil, the flow of oil as such. We are talking about who benefits from oil. We are talking about how oil is integrated within the Iraqi economy. How oil, what is the role of oil as a national resource, as a resource that belongs to the Iraqi people, that the Iraqi people will exercise responsibly for their own benefit, for their own development, and in the process they are also engaged with the international community. They are not there to use oil as a weapon against the international community. As such, it is quite the opposite, that oil has been used as a weapon against the Iraqi people. The Iraqi people there was an attempt to starve the Iraqi people after creating the kind of dependence that existed on oil. Throughout the 1990s, oil was used as a weapon against the Iraqi people by cutting off the flow of oil out of Iraq and the flow of funds that are necessary for the Iraqi people. So these are, I think, issues that we really have to pursue. I mean, in terms of actions, in terms of programs that we do, I think the kinds of the points that John has put forward, emphasis, solidarity with the Iraqi people. I emphasize here solidarity with mass movements, solidarity with new movements. We're not going back to any kind of justification for the old regime or groups that emerged from in any way. That regime is not only was not only damaging for Iraq. It is gone. It is finished. There is no going back to that regime. What we're looking for now is solidarity with new forces that are emerging, new popular forces, mass forces, the kinds of forces that we can see in the independent trade union movement, represented primarily by the oil workers union and by lots of other emerging forces, protest movements of all kinds. These are movements that we have to be very clear. These are movements that cut across Iraq, all sections of Iraqi society, that are building alliances up and down the country. It is a slow process. It will be a slow process. But it's a process that will continue. The issue here is that the occupation has absolutely no project for Iraq other than to exploit its resources. It has no project other than it, or the project at least that it has come with has failed miserably. It is not able to institute the kind of regime that will, or the system, the decentralized system, either a strong regime or a decentralized system that will protect its interests. So it's going to have to be there for a long time, or to have to accept that the people of Iraq will have to be the prime determinants of their future. So in other words, we will be seeing increasingly new forces emerging. We have seen that the way of looking at Iraq as some kind of a state which is fragmented, a people who are disunited, a people whose identities are incongruent, are opposed to each other. This is not the reality of Iraq. The whole of the politics of Iraq, as you ask all the Iraqis around, and the whole of the politics of Iraq throughout the 20th century has been politics about development, politics about justice and political rights, politics about independence, the politics about what kind of government exists in their cultural rights and so on. It was never politics that is communal, that is about communal conflict. There was communities existed and coexisted and merged with each other, and identities changed in the process. Identities were not fixed in stone in this way. Identities were evolving and changing all the time. The people and the growing identity throughout this period was really an Iraqi identity, and the growing political action was really based on largely on class and outlook for the future. So this has really been the Iraqi politics, and this is the Iraqi politics that is reasserting itself increasingly as the cliques that have come with the occupation from outside have really shown themselves to be the kleptomaniacs that they are, and the oppressors that they are, and as they are attempting to reproduce the kind of practices that existed under the old regime of Saddam Hussein. And I think I will add this one point to John in here, that increasingly the situation in Iraq is going to be not the one of chaos that we've seen recently, but we will be seeing another aspect in there. We will be seeing the growth of authoritarian and oppressive government in Iraq. And this is one of the things that we should be now campaigning against, as well as all the other issues. Up till now, under occupation, government has been really almost non-existent. It's one of the forces that are fighting with each other. But we may be seeing the emergence of authoritarianism. So we have to put human rights inside Iraq as well as a point of campaign for us. Thank you.